Meal prepping for transitioning between pretty full liquids to lightly purees. That's where I am right now. We're gonna make some ricotta bake. We're going to get some refried beans prepped. We're gonna get some sweet potato prepped. And we're gonna get some protein pudding prepped. So stick around. Lots of exciting fun things. So I thought I would show you my grocery haul and share with you a few different things that I'm meal prepping to set myself up for success this week. So behind me is my haul. Let me show you. Here is my grocery haul. So this is for smoothies, unsweetened almond milk. I forget what I needed the heavy cream for. I don't know. I got some pinto beans to make some of my own refried beans because all the refried beans had oils in it that I didn't like. Got a sweet potato, this just fell. Got some mozzarella cheese for ricotta bake. More cheeses for ricotta bake. This is Asiago and Parmesan, and then some ricotta. I already have some tomato sauce, so I'm going to make a ricotta bake. These are 000 Oikos, a variety of yogurts. Oikos 000 is non-fat, but it's also low carb. 0 fat, 13 carbs, 6 fiber, so only 6 sugar and 15 grams of protein in this. So it's pretty decent. I plan to transition into keto, but for now, until I get through all of the phases of the diet, I'm sticking to the regular diet that the surgeon has given. So this yogurt fits into it while still staying low carb for me. So thumbs up. And then I got baby spinach also for smoothies. Once you emulsify this, you can totally have it on the pureed or the full liquid stage actually. So I will show you in just a minute what I put in my smoothies to get some high quality nutrition while we're still at such low calories. I am zeroing it out, and then I'm just going to add everything that I want to add. So this is some ginger. It looks like this, and it's frozen. And I'm just gonna pop. Ginger is really super great for your digestion. So right after surgery is a really good idea. So one of those, zero it out. And then a small handful of spinach. And zero it out. Avocado. I'm just gonna do a little bit. That was 40 grams. And I'm just writing this down as I go so that I can then put it in my fitness pal. It's mostly berries, a little bit of pineapple. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this in here. And then final ingredient, almond milk. I'm gonna do a cup of almond milk. Oh, and protein powder. Almost forgot protein powder, y'all. Protein powder is the last ingredient. Isopro whey protein. I'm using this just because I have it. 2 carbs and 18 grams of protein. So I'm going to add 1 scoop of this. And then we're ready to rock and roll. Get this blended on up. Putting this right here on my blender. I'm going to turn it on and pulse it on up. I am going to use the smoothie because it does such a good job of getting it liquefied. So here we go. Here it is. It is completely emulsified. There are no chunks of any sort. Super, super thin, which is what I need to be able to drink it down. Normally, I use frozen fruit to make it a little bit more icy, but I think that the thinner is going to be easier to go down. All right, y'all, we'll see how long it takes me to get this down. It made about 12 ounces, so I maybe should have cut it in half. We'll see what happens. Next, we're going to make some ricotta bake. We're going to get some refried beans prepped. We're going to get some sweet potato prepped. And we're going to get some protein pudding prepped. So stick around. Lots of exciting fun things. All right, let's get to prepping, y'all. One more thing. It wasn't quite sweet enough, so I put some English toffee sweet drops in here. Then also I decided it wasn't quite enough protein for this whole amount of fluid that I need to get down. So I added a half a scoop of Genepro, so that brings me up to 30 grams in this. Let's start doing some meal prepping, y'all. Let's jump right in. First thing I'm gonna do is make some refried beans. I just bought this from the local grocery store. This is just a can of pinto beans, and I looked at the refried beans, but they all had ingredients that I didn't love, like some vegetable oils or canola oils, soybean oils, things like that. and they had lard, but partially hydrolyzed lard. Sorry, I can't talk. So I decided just to buy pinto beans, and I'm gonna make my own. What I am doing is I dumped this can into my little cup here. This is what I'm gonna blend in. And I added, this is just some beef broth, plain beef bone broth. This is 10 grams, it's a packet that you add to water. It's 10 grams of protein. I added half of it. And I'm gonna add, this is Genepro. And Genepro comes in very tiny scoops. I don't know if you've had it, but this tiny scoop is supposed to be 30 grams. Now, there's some controversy over it. Apparently there was a lawsuit a while back. My understanding is that it's all been fixed and it's right now, but some people say to only count this as 20 grams instead of 30, so do what you will with that. I like it because it's flavorless and I can add it to soups or whatever. So right now the name of the game is get protein in everything because I have such small amounts. So here's 5 grams of protein in the beef broth. There's 30, so that's 35. And then there's 6 grams of protein in just the pinto beans. So we're gonna go with that. We're gonna add some water. Not a lot, just a little bit, and then we'll see where we get. And then I'm just gonna use my immersion blender. So here's what it's looking like. My goal is to puree this to a stage where it's not super thick. That's why I added a little bit of water. I'm also gonna add some cheese to this, and then when I heat it up, the cheese will melt. This is just some white sharp cheddar, so I know exactly how much cheese I'm adding. Planning to add an ounce. I'm just gonna stir this up. Now I'm going to fill, these are 2-ounce little plastic cups. I am going to fill up as many of these as I get, and then I'll divide it out so I know what my macros are per 2-ounce cup. I didn't add a lot of flavors to this, other than that beef broth gave it some flavor. Normally when I make refried beans, I add some Mexican type spices, but I'm just gonna do it this way and taste it. If it feels like it's too bland, I'll add some right before I heat it up. When I go to heat it up in the microwave, I will not keep it in this plastic. I have lots of little glass jars, but they hold 4 ounces, and this is only 2 ounces, so I'm not quite putting stuff in those yet. But I'll probably flip it to that to put in the microwave, is why I was telling you about that. Then eventually, when I'm able to eat 4 ounces at a time, I can just store things in the glass, which I'd prefer. But I couldn't find glass 2 ounces. I try not to use plastic too often, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, right? If you don't have an immersion blender or you want it to be even smoother, you could just do it in your Ninja, Vitamix, any of those kind of things. And maybe that's what I should have done, but I used immersion blender this time. All right, so refried beans done. Moving on to protein jello. I'm gonna make this up in the blender. So whatever sugar-free pudding that you want, this is just Jello butterscotch sugar-free pudding. Last time I did cheesecake, which was really good. So you just open the packet and empty it in. We're gonna kind of follow the directions, but we are adding some ingredients to it. So dump that in, and then it says 2 cups of fat-free milk. What I am doing instead of fat-free milk is I'm going to use my Iconic protein shake. This is in vanilla. Iconic comes in a handful of flavors, so if you were making chocolate pudding, or if you had like the cheesecake one and you wanted to add coffee to it, Iconic comes in coffee too. You could use whatever protein shakes you use. You could add Premier, whatever you want. But this is what I'm using in place of the milk. So 2 cups. So there's 2 cups. This is the Genepro again. I'm just going to use this again. I also have unflavored Isopure, which works well, but it is a much bigger scoop. All right. So there's, can't remember last time if I used 1 or 2. We're going to use 2. So we can make a good bit of protein in a really small Jello shot, basically. You can do the same thing with the regular Jello, but I don't really love Jello, so I'm doing it with pudding. All right, so next, now that everything's in here, we're just gonna blend it up so we have it smooth, and then we'll pour it in our cups. I am gonna go blend this baby. All right, now this I know makes 12, so I'm gonna just go ahead and line up 12. I will put down below the macros of each of these things and the directions, so y'all will have it. Alright, this is the one I've most been looking forward to, is the Ricotta Bake that everybody talks about. It sounds so good, and I've been craving pizza, so the idea of the ricotta and the Parmesan and the sauce sounds awesome. I think this is going to be dinner tonight. So, I am following Shelly's Ricotta Bake on Pinterest, the world according to Egg Face. But I am going to add some protein powder to it for extra protein. So, you need some ricotta cheese. We need 8 ounces of ricotta. Handy dandy scale, always need that. Just makes it easier. And 0 out. I need 8 ounces of ricotta. So I'm just gonna measure it out. All right, so 8 ounces of ricotta going in. 1 egg, which I'm just gonna put it in this little thing so I can beat it a little bit. We're gonna need Italian seasoning and salt and pepper. Let me grab that. All right, grabbing my seasonings here. Just lightly beating this egg in the same little thing I measured my ricotta in, and I'm gonna dump it in. Now this is my protein powder. I just took a scoop of the Genepro and put a tiny bit of water, just a tiny bit, to let this kind of dissolve. Then I'm just gonna pour this right in here with my ricotta mixture. And you could do 2 scoops of this if you wanted to get even more protein, but we're just gonna do 1 this time. Next, when I see what the total macros are, when I add everything up, I may decide to, if I like it, to do more next time. We'll see. All right, so it says mix ricotta cheese, Parmesan, egg seasoning. So we have not added the Parmesan yet. We need ½ cup of Parmesan. Okay, ½ cup of Parmesan. A little extra, I can put that on the top probably. So this is just some cracked black pepper. A little bit of salt. I always use Himalayan salt. Some garlic. This was not called for, but this is like a garlic spread. I love garlic. I'm not weighing out my spices, y'all. I'm just winging it. This is Italian seasoning. So now we're just gonna get all of this mixed. Our yummy, yummy cheese mixture. So I'm gonna put this in the dishes and then top with marinara and cheese, it says. So these are little 4-ounce ball jars. I bought a bunch of these. I like these because I can cook in these, I can freeze these. I'm a fan. So, actually, I feel like I should measure how much I'm putting in each one, y'all. I'm gonna do 2 ounces in each one of these is my plan. All right, so there's 4 2 ounces. I think I can get another one. All right, let's just see how much this one weighs. Okay, so 3. All right, y'all, I gotta do a little bit of math. Help me, Jesus. Come on, Google. Okay, 0.75. So I need to add 0.75 ounces to each of these to make them even. So 0. All right, that makes each of these 3.75. And then we're gonna add some mozzarella on top of some marinara. So I'm just using one that I happen to have. This is a Trader Joe's marinara sauce, ½ cup. So we're going to measure ½ cup again. I'm gonna put an ounce on each one is my plan. I'm gonna use a tiny bit more to hit an ounce. I'm just gonna put a little cheese on top, y'all. So 0 again, some Cabot mozzarella. Okay, that's 0.2 ounces. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of Parmesan too. So that's 0.35 of cheese. All right, so this would be easier if you just did it all in one big dish, and then measured out your amounts from there probably. But I wanted to try and do it this way so that everything was in its own cute little container. Definitely took some extra time, but now you could at this point put these all in the oven, or you can just put these tops on them, put them in the fridge, and either cook it in the oven when you're ready or just microwave it, whatever you feel like. I just pulled a sweet potato out of the oven. I am just going to get the sweet potato into this. I'm going to put it on my scale, zero it out, so that when I put this in here, I know how much sweet potato that I'm making. So if I can do this without burning myself, it's really hot. In an ideal world, we probably should wait, Erica, until this cools, but I really want to get it done. My Ricotta Bake just came out of the oven too. It's looking really, really good. I'll show it to you in a second. 11 ounces of sweet potato. This is in my little blender. I'm going to do my liquefied Genepro like I've been doing. So just one of these, put a scoop in here. I'm gonna put a little bit of water in this. Hold on. Like literally, y'all, that was just a tiny, tiny bit. And then I put the top on and just kind of shake it up. If you're going to take Genepro with you to a restaurant, like to add to soup or anything like that, if you put it in one of these containers, then at the restaurant you can just put a tiny bit of water in and shake it up, and then pour it into whatever food you have, and there will be no clumps or anything, no problem. I found this to be the easiest way to do it, and it's super easy to take these. The top shuts, they don't spill. So it's a super, super easy way to do it. Now, I'm gonna add a little bit of cinnamon. This is a cinnamon sugar mix with cinnamon and erythritol and a little bit of xylitol. So just adding a little bit of that. This is basically 0 carbs. And my kiddos are home.
Oh.
Hey y'all.
Hello. Sorry.
It's okay. All right, y'all. I'm gonna see if I can puree this up, and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, so the sweet potatoes needed a little more liquid, so I used this NutPods. I talked to y'all about how much I love NutPods. This is French vanilla NutPods. I added 4 ounces of this. So, sweet potatoes, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sweet potatoes. And this is the Ricotta Bake. Ricotta Bake time. We're gonna test it before I put everything else up. It held together really, really nicely. All right. Here you go. That's too big of a bite. Oh my gosh, that's good. Yum. It's like you're eating lasagna without the noodles. So good. So good. Well, I forgot to do an outro for that. So that was my meal prep for this week. I hope you found something in it that was helpful or got you inspired to start doing your own, or you have surgery coming up and you might want to pin this for ideas for later. I definitely am going to include down below either most of them are just things I came up with, but the Ricotta Bake I put down below where I found the recipe, and I basically followed it. I told you the differences. But anyways, everything I made is down below, including the macros with the protein amounts and all of that stuff. So I hope it's helpful, and I will continue to do these as I am food prepping to make everything a little more streamlined. The Ricotta Bake was so good, y'all. So good. Yum. Yum. All right, bye. I love you all. If you're new to me, I'd love for you to stick around, hit that subscribe, hit the bell so you know when I post stuff. For everybody that's already my followers, I'm so glad to have you here with me and watching. I know some of y'all watch me more for keto. This is a little bit different now that I've had VSG, but as soon as I'm able to eat regular foods again, I'll be completely back to 100% keto and doing all of my regular meal preps and all of my keto videos and all of that. So if you stuck with me and watched this anyways, thank you. And I promise keto stuff to come. I'm going to be doing lots of keto Christmas stuff and baking and party ideas and all of that kind of stuff. All right, bye y'all.